Hey, welcome back to Life After Divorce, episode 3. I am your host, Chris, and in the last episode we talked about the attorneys and splitting assets, and so I want to pick it up from there and work on the stages 3 and 4 today. But before I do, to all of my attorney friends out there, I do not provide legal counsel. I've never played an attorney on TV, so there is your disclaimer. So with stages 3 and 4, we're talking today about kids and the children cycle and stage of going through the divorce, but also going through child support as well. And so I wanted to spend ample time today dedicated to both of those topics, and usually very hot topics as you go through the divorce. Step 3, the kids. This is the hardest one and was the hardest one for me. Yet, if you have kids together, you know the whole thing when you said, "Till death do us part"? There's a lot of truth in that. And if you have kids, that's real. And here's what I mean by this. You get, because you had children together, and at some point you genuinely wanted to be with each other, or that wouldn't have happened, slip of the whatever, but you had kids together, okay? Because you had kids together, you get to split time with that individual now, work out calendars, extracurricular activities for the kids, all that fun stuff, holidays, you name it. Yep, you get to work all that fun stuff out as you go through the divorce. But it doesn't end there. Because of this whole till death do us part, you get to deal with that person for anything that your kids are doing in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 50s, their grandkids' events. You're going to get to deal with this person and see this person and schedule things with this person and around this person for the rest of your life. So, taking that into consideration, if you will pull the emotion to the side out of this thing, you're going to get along with this person much better from now going forward than if it's all about screwing who, or who did screw who in this whole gamut. And then you both have a bitter taste in your mouth and you're both just living miserable lives for the rest of your life. And guess who pays for that? It ain't you, and it ain't the other person. It is the children. Okay? So you want to get me wound up? This is the topic that gets me wound up the most. And I'm going to bleed children into child support in just a second. But I get asked a lot, how did you tell your children? How should I tell my children? How does this work as far as the children go? There's not a right way. There's a lot of wrong ways. I would say that kind of the least of all evils, both parties need to sit down with the kids, be as direct as you can about life's going to change. I do not encourage that happening on day one of filing for the divorce, because the kids are going to see after that happens that things are going to look they're going to start looking different. I'm not going to say a lot different, but they're going to start looking different over time anyway. So it's not going to be a shell shock to them at the end of this, whenever you're about to sign the final decree, that you then have that conversation with them. But I've seen people do it all over the place, and there's not an easy way to do it. There's a lot of, I won't say shit, but there's a lot of bad ways to do it. So take that into consideration whenever you tell your children. The other side about the kids thing is do what is best for them and always keep them front of mind as far as making those decisions. Again, if you pull the emotional out of it for you, making decisions based on what's best for the kids makes it best for the kids. If all you want to do, and this is where child support comes into play, if all you want to do is use your kids as poker chips or ways to gain more financially from your ex, then you're not thinking about your children. You're not doing what's best for them. You're looking out for you. Well, I got hurt, or I got screwed over, or he or she had an affair on me, and I'm going to put it back and screw them. It's not what it's about. Your kids want to spend as much time with each parent as possible. Now, I realize situations of abuse, situations of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, all of that all becomes extenuating circumstances. But if both parents are fully capable of taking care of the children up until this point, and nothing magically comes out of nowhere that the other parent can't provide, your kids want to spend as much time with you and your soon-to-be ex as much as possible. Yes, I want to have my kids 365 days of the year, but is that what is best for them? Not necessarily, because they still want to see their mom too. So I got to do what's best for the kids. And at the end of the day, for us, it was 50-50 on spending time with them, because that's what's best for them. Not what I think that I want or I need, or not what she thinks she wants or she needs. Okay? So Indiana, and I know all states are going to be different, but Indiana is a no-fault state. So it doesn't matter whether you were caught cheating or the other person was caught cheating or whatever the reason is that you're getting divorced. The state of Indiana don't give a damn, okay? All the state of Indiana cares about from a child support standpoint or a custody standpoint is, are both parents capable of taking care or caring for the children? Are there any other extenuating circumstances beyond that? If not, they don't care. And we'll get into now. There's the child support aspect. So the reason I say the state of Indiana doesn't care is if you're just wanting to argue and bicker back and forth about 75% custody, 25% custody, or 50-50, or if that's what you're wanting to argue about, the fact that the state is a no-fault state means the state's not going to say, well, because you got cheated on, we're going to grant you more time with the children. Like that's not how this works. So child support. Again, the kids are not a poker chip or a bargaining chip in this. So with child support, the state of Indiana makes it pretty simple. And again, all states are going to look and feel differently. But the state of Indiana is a simple algorithm, okay? It's a website. You can Google it and pull it up right now and go through these steps by yourself. Again, everything I'm telling you is not involving lawyers if you haven't heard that or figured that out yet. Keep the strippers to the side. It's not what we're going through right now. So with child support, the state of Indiana looks at it as, what are the incomes of both parties? What is the custody situation, or how much time are you going to spend? And when I say custody situation, are you spending 51% time with the children? Are you spending 75% of the time with the children? What is that going to look like? Because that determines obviously who's going to take on some additional expenses. But then from an expense standpoint, are there additional things like childcare? Maybe you've got, one in daycare right now. Like that has to go into consideration as far as overall expenses. Outside of that, the state spits out an algorithm and says party A will owe party B so much money, either weekly or monthly or whatever. That's it. You don't have to be a lawyer to put this together. That's a big one that people spend a lot of money with lawyers outside of assets, is child support. This is not brain surgery, guys. So don't make it that way. Don't make it more difficult than it has to be. If you have questions, concerns, hit me up. My email address is here, and be happy to help you any way I can. Till next time, have a great day, and hopefully you're enjoying a blessed life. We'll see you.